Hello there folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ferengian Board again. This time however with a video not on spirituality and deep diving on introspection and different topics regarding spirituality. This time I decided again to offer my point of view and breakdown of all the possible features of a video game on Game Tester that required people to give their opinions on. And as of what I've read, there is currently no playable version. It is just in concept phase and people are just looking for critiques regarding this topic. The game is called Food Rush as of what I can see, and well, I haven't for now the slightest idea, and the purpose of this video is to see what the concept of the game is like and well, present my opinion on it while trying to break things down to the minutest possible. Now, to start off, the introductory picture, hopefully this is the picture for the game, or well, more like an advertisement. It's actually quite bright and colorful, which makes it quite very good for children, or probably a mobile game, because the graphics are quite neat. If this would be animated, that would make for quite a good flashy advertisement. Well, hopefully the cars here haven't bumped one into the other, and as I can see, the smoke sprite is the same here with this one in here, and as I can see, there is some sort of layering. These are layered over that part, which in this part seems to be hidden by this car. Okay, so there is some yellow, there is a lot of green, which makes it look somewhat peaceful. The Food Rush name could have been better if it were probably somewhere here written on a single line, because this gives the impression a bit of monotony. It's the same things, and this space remains a bit blank in here because there's a lot of repetition, while here the cars are somewhat different. There is a coin, there is a flash, the building is not in the other parts as well, although this is here and here. At least we have a bench and things look a bit different. So let's read a bit about the game. Apart from being called Food Rush, it's called thank you. Okay, so thank you for the time to go through this document. Okay, so this part will include a concept explaining the complete overview of the game. Okay, so at least I can offer some points and ideas upon this. Design showcasing artwork. Okay, that's good. Challenges that players will have to conquer in game. Achievements. Good, everyone loves themselves some achievements. Reward functions. Oh, daily rewards. Okay, that's something that I call a hook. And usually daily quests and rewards are kind of a nuisance, but well, they are a way to make sure that your player base will actually stick to the game, although it's kind of becoming a bit too aggressive nowadays, but okay. Card functions, what you can purchase with in-game currency and how to top it up. Okay, so you buy it with in-game currency. Now this could be in-game currency like gold or whatever that you gain from doing quests, or probably some of those spicy currencies that you probably can purchase with real life money. And advertising, of course, advert placement as well as video rewards. Okay, videos. Rewards based on watching videos. Yes. I kind of see it a bit unnecessary, but since it is a wait, I think it actually said somewhere that is a mobile application, and yeah, video rewards are kind of specific to that. Okay, so beautiful graphics, that's something that's very important usually, especially for mobile games. It would be very important. Now I've been in game development for like almost 1 year and like 15 months, I could say. Next week it's gonna be 15 months working on my own video game as a side project. It's not working for others, because I'm not that drawn on working on others' projects, because I will not have that much time for myself. This could go as a very good advertisement. It has a nice blend of a bit of yellow, but the green makes it look very peaceful. The neutral blue in here, the green here, the orange draws a bit of attention, this could actually go very well as an advertisement. Here the name of the game would go well because this part is a bit monotonous. If this would be animated, like, you know, these cars just go like a little GIF, you know, a GIF picture, could do for a good advertisement for the game. Okay, so let's see. Concept: this is a mobile game, so I kind of deducted it. Designed for smartphones or tablets with touch screen controls. Okay, that's a good point. The purpose of the game is that you are driving a little food vending vehicle that is rushing through traffic and avoiding many forms of obstacles to deliver your food. So I'm guessing the player will have to face different problems, like probably traffic jams, I'd say. It would be best if it has some sort of, you know, like a mapping tool, something like Waze, you know, something like a guidance tool that will give at least a few hints, not say specifically where to go through to avoid traffic, but at least a few hints that the player will take a while to understand, or even be a kind of a skill like traffic understanding or something like that that develops per day as you progress in the game. I'm guessing it might be weather, you know, bad weather, and you have to take care, like, you know, there will be water ponds, and you know, there will be curves in the you know, the streets will be curved, right? There will be sudden turns probably, and you have to manage your speed probably. So let's see, during your drive you'll have 3 lanes to play in. These lanes will have other cars in them, but there will always be one lane that is open at times. So it's basically 3 things done at the same time, but you only control one of those. Sounds a bit like playing the Vikings in Heroes of the Storm. This open lane will also have certain obstacles that will prevent you from continuing, but no worries, your food truck is geared to boost over them. Okay, sounds a bit convincing. Now, this background picture with the red and white, you see, I really hope it doesn't get into the game, because it might actually remind people of Imperial Japan. It kind of looks a bit like their flag. I actually was given such a flag by a friend of mine as a gift, and I made a picture with that, and I actually met some person that, you know, they told me, hey, you know what, it would be better if you just remove that so that people don't misunderstand it. Okay, so that's a personal point, no picking on that. While you are driving and dodging traffic, as I said, so traffic jams and obstacles, you'll, or probably slower cars, that's also a point, okay, and other obstacles, you'll have the opportunity to collect coins. So the ones depicted in here, I guess, coins, and these little flashes kind of remind me of Revolt. You know, you could pick up these things which were power boosts, okay, and coins that you can use to purchase new vehicles, as well as power-ups that will enable you to zoom through traffic at such speed you knock over vehicles and obstacles out of the way for a short period of time. Now, that wouldn't sound too logical, but again, it's a game. The goal of the game is to make it as far as you can without hitting any obstacles and completing all challenges, including unlocking all in-game content. Okay, so the problem with this game is that it wants to have daily quests, but the point is, once you unlock all in-game content, the question is, will there be new content, or it's kind of like, congratulations, you have the best gear possible, now you just do, you know, quests, which might become a bit, you know, like probably boring, or it could be, you know, like that little game retreat in case you're tired of those games that you're very you know, aggressive and competitive in. You probably need some little game that you can relax in. Okay, and let's see, well, until now I found some details, but I can't simply dissect too much on these. Like, I've made a previous game presentation with a lot of details and help for the person that kind of asked me to do that for them. So let's see what this document actually has. Okay, challenging environments. Okay, this picture is kind of suggestive. Okay, probably at a police car somewhere around. That would probably make it much better. Okay, so challenges. Challenges will be a set of game modes that start the minute you wish to complete one. Okay, so you don't have any preparatory thing. Like probably you should have a little bit of a intro or something like that to have you accustomed to how they work. They range from extremely easy to tricky microsecond response timing. Okay, so it kind of reminds me of those super speed, super fast, Tetris, something like that. This will be connected with achievements. Okay, that makes quite a lot of sense. Jump over trap 5 times. Oh, okay. You better jump over trap 5 times. Well, okay, if your car can actually do that, I'm okay, but this kind of doesn't sound logical for a, like an ice cream van or something like that. That's supposed to be quite slow, but if you're just food rush, well, most likely you're not gonna be an ice cream van. You're probably gonna be some kind of pizza delivery guy, or like a mixture in between Crazy Taxi and a pizza delivering guy. Okay, so achievements. We want to reward players with certain achievements that enable them to showcase their hard efforts at completing certain milestones in the game, including tricky sets of obstacles and challenges. And drive 25 meters in game. I'm not sure if this would be a difficult one. Probably the achievements would be best if they are tiered. They have multiple levels that you go through. And to hook more players up, it could go well with a lot of achievements being very easy, then taking progressively becoming harder and harder. But just try not to do like many Asian MMORPG games that up till level 40, 50 it's still easy to level up, but when you almost reach maximum level, it's like you take a whole month to level just once. And like certain games like, for example, Aura Kingdom. Gifts. We wish to integrate daily login rewards. Okay, that's something quite typical, and it's not a bad addition, including the opportunity for you to watch an ad to earn double the reward for the day. This will be an incentive to come back to the game. This will only be available once a day, so you're not forced to watch 100 ads like some other game apps do. And yeah, well, people don't probably see watching ads as a good thing, but you spend a bit of your time and you create some revenue for the game platform, so you also gain some valuable goodies. Hopefully they are valuable in game, so most likely I see it as a win-win situation, but I don't know how much or how good people will actually look at this. But if it's only once a day, it should actually be very good. Now, leaderboards. To create a sense of competition between players, well, that's not a good thing. Usually where there's competition, toxicity kind of hits. There will be a leaderboard that will be implemented to showcase your high score. This leaderboard will be global, based on all players connected. Okay, so all players connected. So once someone disconnects, basically their points are reset or something like that. I think this will have a bad psychological influence. It will have players spend more time than they should in the game. I don't know if this is one of the aims of the game, but a game and a platform should technically provide value to people. They should, or at least that's how I think, they should provide a refuge for people who want to just relax a bit instead of making them fuss over trivial things. Okay, usually mobile games don't get to be too complex. Well, there are some, but usually mobile games tend to be much simpler than PC games and such. So the point with leaderboards, honestly, I would skip such a point. And if the game becomes more famous, I'd honestly create a poll in which I'd ask players if they'd be interested in something like this. And in this, it's also a progressive approach to the game, which is something that I also prefer taking. Instead of creating a full-fledged game and launching to the gamer community, I prefer creating a part of it and seeing, hey, what do you think about it? What do you think it should have? And creating polls that give people some value. It gives them the impression that you're actually taking their points into account, and you're also going to provide them with some answers why those ideas that they come up with would be good or not be good for your game, because the community also has to understand your point of view as a developer or as a developer team, because you might not have the time, you might not have the skill to implement all those ideas that 1,000 players might come up with. And not having the skill doesn't mean you cannot actually implement those, but come again, if people want 100 new things in the game, it's gonna take a really long time. And mobile applications, I don't know how large teams usually are for mobile applications, but I can imagine that usually they are somewhat small or medium, probably 10-15 people. So yeah, who knows, maybe they can actually do that. Dynamic gameplay, well, I really don't understand what this would be. This thing here with the smoke, it actually would remind me, would it be a good idea to add some random event in which your car simply breaks and it takes a while to repair it? You can basically repair it, and basically the car has kind of an HP, and it reduces the more you speed up, because you use more oil for the engine, you use the car pieces more, like the more you overuse the car, basically it ages a bit faster, so you have increasing chances of it to break down. So this could also be used as a means to make sure the player won't just overuse and abuse the best abilities possible. Everything that is superbly good should be able to be countered by certain let's call them limiters. Advertisements, we would like to get your thoughts on advert placements in the game. Please keep in mind that this is the main income generator for the game, keeping it free on the App Store. Usually with mobile games, that's kind of the point. Income generator for such games are the apps, the inner purchases, or the so-called advertisements, which hopefully they won't become tedious, because that's definitely gonna piss a lot of players. Even if the game is free, players would probably, like I would probably, honestly pay, I don't know, $5 per month to have access to the game, because it's a mobile game and they tend to be much simpler. I would rather pay $5 per month instead than just watch stupid advertisements, even if advertisements are still the blood of the such mini games and apps that the developers want to keep for free. I would say an advertisement limit would be best advised. It would be best to have a certain amount of advertisements, and those advertisements should never ever pop up during gameplay. Like, let's say the player does a mission, and never ever, preferably never ever, introduce that stamina thing that disallows you from playing the game as much as you want, because you can no longer play the game once you don't have stamina, and then people start with all those parasitic aspects, like if you watch 10 advertisements you get more stamina. That's really awful, and I see it as highly aggressive. Honestly, as a game designer, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, I am not that knowledgeable of the mobile market, so the market might actually require more of these, but it would be best if advertisements would come preferably at the beginning of the game, and it would be something like a system in which you can tell the player, depending on how many advertisements you choose to watch today, you will unlock additional stuff, or you will have access to different superpowers for your quests nowadays. So in this case, people might choose to go hard mode and not watch the ads, but have increasingly more difficult content, which is a good way on one hand, because they might not watch your ads and that might mean less income, but on the other hand it means that the player will actually be leading themselves to two situations. either they are very good and they will like the game because it will be much more challenging, and let's not forget that challenge is what most players seek nowadays, especially, and out of my point of view, games look like less and less difficult by the day, and creating such a challenge would be a nice system, at least from my point. And on the other hand, players might actually bump into too difficult points, so they're not that good at video games, so their reflexes might not be as good. So next time or for the next mission, they can choose again how many adverts they would want. So if they want to go for easy mode, they can choose to see 3 advertisements, but keep those advertisements very short, like 10 seconds advertisements or something like that, because you don't want to drown your players in 30 seconds or more advertisements, because it really sucks. Most of the time people will play mobile games while at work in their free time, and honestly the last thing that players will usually want is more advertisements to be choked with. Products. There will be a store in the game that will grant you access to a selection of items, including top up of credits to buy new vehicles and upgrades, as well as an option to remove ads from the game. Okay, so you actually have a real life money option to remove ads from the game, and yes, as I expected, you can actually buy gold coins or the in-game currency with real life money. For mobile games it's kind of expectable, and the prices at least are much cheaper. And $3 remove banner ads in game. Now the question is $3 per day, $3 per week, $3 per month, or $3 forever. Like it could be a good option to be like $3 per month. I mean, for Western Europe countries, or some like America, or like some countries, like, let's face it, $3 per month, or per week probably, or $1 per week. That might not necessarily be something bad, because even if they pay $3 per month, you're not always sure that the player will remain hooked to your game. There are literally billions of mobile games out there, so if your player suddenly switches to another platform, at least they have enjoyed your game a while and they have supported your effort. Now the point that most people don't understand is the job economy is kind of dying and the skill economy is coming, and with this a new paradigm has to be born, is being born, and if people don't get adjusted to it, they will simply suffer and fail. This new paradigm is money will always come as a byproduct of the value that is being offered, and this is quite a deeply introspective point. So if you want your game to be nice to people and them to actually pay you, make sure that the value and the amount of content and value that you offer them will exceed most players' expectation. Okay, now this price, $2 for 800 gold coins. Coins can purchase vehicle skins. Okay, skins, really. Cosmetics, yes. Vehicle skins cost 100 to 500 coins each, but wait, you buy new vehicles or vehicle skins? And do those skins actually do something different? At times you might actually see this feature, but it's very rare in games. Notifications will be sent out when you have a gift waiting for you, as well as if you haven't played the game for a period of time. Honestly, don't. This is kind of intrusive in people's lives. It kind of sounds a bit like wishing to people please, give me your attention. I usually see this as an aggressive attempt to crave people's attention, which I really frown and look down upon. But okay, it's your game project, feel free to use it, but through the psychology of a gamer that's been playing games for like 20 years almost, I assure you it's not necessarily the best approach. However, it's mobile game market, so it might be something necessary, but this is my opinion. This will just play as a reminder for action to take place within the game. Preferably this would be good if the player hasn't played your game in like at most 1 week, because if you try to remind your player that they haven't played your game, and you know a month has passed and you're still trying to catch your players' attention. Honestly, if they haven't played your game in a month, I don't think they'll actually play it anymore, or probably much later on. So the point is, if you want to remind the player about the game, just make sure that you remind them up to 1 week of inactivity. Personal opinion. And well, I don't have a diploma of psychology, but I have read enough to know a bit, and I have spoken and understood a lot about humans and some of their behaviors, especially through video games. Okay, so game mechanics, finally, something about this. So the food truck, this will be the vehicle you control through the game. Okay, it has a simple sprite, it's not bad, it actually looks quite nice. This vehicle skin can be changed in game. Okay, now hopefully the skin actually offers some, you know, like compatibility, like, you know, it acts as technically a new vehicle that actually gives you something instead of just a cosmetic, because plain cosmetics are just a, you know, narcissistic, aggressive way of robbing people of their money. Because nowadays the mechanics of economy have to be understood as provide value to people, and just a skin, I know it's a different mesh, but honestly such mesh is, you know, with a bit of patience can also be done in GIMP, you know, and free softwares and the such. So, you know, it's better have some you know, customization, some probably different animations, you know, something to justify the real life money that the player will probably probably use. But come again, if they actually can get the gold for that, well, they can actually be technically a skin. But you can create a different marketplace in which if they buy that skin with real life money and make sure it's the same price, they also get as a separate perk, you know, an official thank you from the team. Thank you to the player that they are, you know, supporting the game not only with the time they are spending and their attention they are giving to your game, which is also very important to take into account, but also with real life money, which actually can help your game progress, right, and can actually help your company and, well, other projects, or especially this project. If they buy them with real life money, they can get, you know, some cool separate perks for their skins. And if they buy the skin for free with in-game gold, they can, I don't know, buy it for example like half the price, you know, the price that initially it has in real life money. They can buy it for half that price. If they already have it with in-game gold, they can buy it, you know, with half the price to get those perks as well. Power-ups, you'll be able to gather coins while driving your food vehicle to purchase skins. Preferably not just skins. There's too much of this aggression, skins. Ever since this market saw this huge opportunity to exploit people's ego, and, you know, the fact they don't have different aspects, like, you know, they don't have an economical focus, they just blow their money literally on everything. This is a very aggressive way. Just don't give people just skins, give them different awkward mechanics, like your car makes even funnier sounds when it jumps, it has even funnier animations, okay, and this can be like literally unlocked with each game, so people can simply be like, you know what, fuck your skins, I don't want the skins, I just want to see how the car jumps with that super funny, even funnier, you know, sound, or you have an even crazier and funnier animation when you bump into another car, and, you know, it's like, I'm the player, I do whatever I want, I just want to see how I bump my car into someone else, and I just want to see that funny animation again and again. This could also be a point. There are speed power-ups that will make the vehicle invincible for a brief moment. Honestly, I wouldn't go for this, but I don't know, I could go for something like, if you get into a let's say if you get into a traffic jam and you have collected, let's say, at least 3 power-ups, there will be for the next you know, like crossroads, there will always be a free a free lane, okay, for your car to go, so that you know when the traffic light hits green, you don't have to wait for all the cars to go, right, and you simply go first. I don't know, different other things like potholes don't affect you, or you can actually see a warning for potholes if those would actually exist in the game. Numerous other things like, you know, stuff like that. Invincibility is not something good, it's something that can be regarded as a cheat. It can lead to a poor game design, or it can actually lead to exploits if not coded, well, if not implemented correctly. So honestly, I wouldn't go for invincibilities, okay? Especially that it doesn't look logical to, you know, a game in which you drive a food truck, okay? Like it could be a good option, yes, why not, because a video game doesn't necessarily have to be logical, but okay. Obstacles, there are many obstacles that you will need to avoid or simply boost over them, okay? I'm okay with that. That could be good, like you know, tree stumps, or actually tree logs, those things which I don't know what they're called. Honestly, the obstacles, one obstacle that I would make, now I don't know if the game will be just like a straightforward road. I was imagining at first, you know, like a small city with different detours, and you know, one of the obstacles would actually be detours that will make your way till the finish line much longer. Or you can actually use some tricks in which you detour the player on a shortcut, but they will avoid it because they will think that it's a longer way, and well, until they learn. Okay, so food truck, there is a tutorial that shows you the way to control your vehicle. Okay, so yes, that's the best, actually that's the best thing possible, and it's kind of recommended in all games. Everything is controlled by one finger, and there are only two actions: swipe up and down, moves vehicle up or down in lanes. Okay, so you can actually move your vehicle in lanes. So basically you don't have an option to wait, you actually steer up and down the lanes. Okay. And well, the problem with touch screens, there are some optimization issues. Sometimes the phone might not understand the tap screen option, and also the tap screen option leads to, you know, the game how to call it, oh yes, the phone's touch screen actually, you know, ages faster to video games, but well, that's not the company's, that's not the video designers, the video game developers and designers problem in the end. Okay, so tap screen, I'm not much of a fan over this, but at least the controls are very simple to understand, so the game is not awkward, and you know, it doesn't have you know, those annoying wombo combos that usually are good to make on console or on PC, but on mobile phone, yeah, probably that wouldn't be the best point. And thank you for reading. Okay, so it's finished. Hopefully I provided enough value. The presentation was quite simple, so I couldn't dive too much into this. I will post this video and I will notice you. I'm also working on my own video game, so if you are interested in that, its name is A Journey Through Consciousness. It's created in RPG Maker, and I've been working on it for like 15 months almost. In a week it will be 15, I think, actually more than 15 months, 16 I think. What else I can say is have fun developing the game, remember to provide value to people, and well, all I can say is have fun, you are loved and appreciated, keep up the good work, hopefully it ends up well, and well, Ferenc on board signing out.